Welcome to this video lesson on indices and logarithms. So to begin off, let's go to the indices. First of all, you're going to define any expression that is written as a raised to power n is defined as the variable a raised to the power of the number n. N is called the power, an index, plural, called them indices, or an exponent of a, and a is called the base. So when you write this number like this, a is referred to as the base and n is what we refer to as the power. We can refer to it as an index, or we can call it an exponent. Therefore, when you talk of indices, indices simply means there is a plural of index, and you have understood what an index is. Let's go to this example where n is a positive whole number. A raised to power 1 is equals to a raised to power 2 is equals to a times a raised to power 3 is equals to a times a. Therefore, if we have any number a raised to power n, it means it is a times a n times. That is what we mean by a raised to power n, where n can be any positive or negative integer. Now, we may have this illustration again to explain better. 2 raised to power 3 is equals to 2 times 2 times 2. That is 2 times 2 times 2 3 times. That is what we mean by 2 times 3 is equals to 8. Let's go to negative powers. Now suppose we have the power as a negative number like this one, a raised to power negative n. This one means it is 1 divided by a raised to power n. So when there is a negative power, that one indicates that it is an inverse. So we come and we take 1 divided by, but we don't write this negative again. So we omit this negative. When we write 1 divided by, we don't include the negative sign. Now, illustration to show this, or to explain this better. A raised to power negative 2 means 1 divided by a raised to power 2. You can see the negative sign has been dropped once we write this one as 1 divided by. So negative means that one is an inverse. Now suppose we have a as 2. Here we are going to have a number like 2 raised to power negative 1. That one means it is 1 divided by 2. Or 2 raised to power negative 2 is equals to 1 divided by 2 times 2. We get 2 times 2 because this, you can see this one is to power negative 2. Power negative 2. So we have dropped the negative because we have written 1 divided by, so it is the inverse. So 2 raised to power negative 2 means it is 1 divided by 2 squared. You can write this one as 2 squared, or 2 times 2, which is equals to a quarter. Now what about a 0 power? Any number or any letter raised to power 0 is equals to 1. You can have any a as any number, any letter raised to power 0 is equals to 1. Like for example, 8 raised to power 0 is equals to 1. What about a fractional power? Now when the power is a fraction, like a raised to power 1 over n, that one simply means that it is the nth root of a. This one is the nth root. 1 over n means the nth root of a. For example, if n is equals to 2, like in this case, then this one means that it is a square root of 9, which is going to give us 3. Suppose n is 3, which will give us 1 over 3, like this one, 8 raised to power 1 over 3, then it will mean that this one will be the cube root of 8, which is equals to 2. So 1 over n simply means it is the nth root. So if it is 5, let's say it is 1 over 5, then this one will be the 5th root. If it is 1 over 6, it will be the 6th root, so on. Let's go to the laws of indices, or the rules of indices. Now, rule number 1 states that if you have a letter like a raised to power m multiplied by a raised to power n is equals to a, we add the power. So when you're multiplying and the base is the same, we add the powers. Examples to show this: 2 squared times 2 raised to power 3 is equals to 2 raised to power 5. You can see we have added the powers 2 plus 3, which has given us 5, which is 32. Another example is 5 raised to power 1 times 5 raised to power 1 So the base is the same, so add the powers, 1 plus 1, which you get 5 raised to power 2, and so on. This one, 5 raised to power 1 times 5 raised to power 0 is equals to 5. You add 1 plus 0, you get 1, so it equals to 5. Rule number 2 of indices: if you are dividing a raised to power m divided by a raised to power n, we subtract the powers. So we write a, then you subtract the powers, m minus n. Examples to illustrate this rule: if you have a number like 2 raised to power 3 divided by 2 squared is equals to 2, 3, that is a power, subtract the power, 3 minus 2, you get 2 raised to power 1, which is 2. Another example, 2 cubed divided by 2 raised to power 0 will give us 2, subtract the power, 3 minus 0, you get 2 raised to power 3, which is equals to 8. More examples. This one is 2 cubed divided by 2 raised to power 3 again. You get this one is 2, then subtract the powers, you get 3 minus 3, 2 raised to power 0 is equals to 1. We have seen this, 0 index. Then the other example, 2 raised to power 3 divided by 2 raised to power negative 2 will give us 2 cubed. You just subtract the powers, 3 minus negative 2, which will give us 2 raised to power 5, which is that 2. You may have as many examples, even this one, 2 cubed, 2 raised to power negative 3 divided by 2 raised to power 2, which will give us 2, take the powers, negative 3 minus 2, which will give us minus 5. So 2 raised to power minus 5, which is the same as, remember these are fractional indices, the inverse, this one is the inverse. So 2 raised to power negative 5 is the same as 1 divided by 2 raised to power 5, which is 1 over 32. Now, the other rule or law number 3 states that if you have a raised to power m into brackets n is equals to, you just open this bracket, so you have a m times n. An example to illustrate this: if you have a number like 2 cubed into brackets raised to power 2 will be 2 multiply 3 times 2, you get 2 raised to power 6, which will give us 64. Rule number 4 or law number 4 states that a raised to power n multiplied by b raised to power n is equals to, you can put this one as ab. Since both of them are being raised to the same power, you can put the bracket, both of them, and then you raise to power n. An example to illustrate this: 3 squared times 4 squared. You can see they are being raised to the same power, so you can just pick 3 times 4 into brackets, then you square, and you're going to get this one is 12 squared, which is 144. Likewise, a raised to power n divided by b raised to power n is equals to a over b, everything raised to power n, since both of them are being raised to the same index or power, where b should not be equal to 0, because if you put if b is a 0 here, then this one will not be defined. Another example: 6 raised to power 2 divided by 3 squared is equals to 6 divided by 3, everything again raised to power 2, since both of them are being raised to the same power, is equals to 2 squared, which will give us 4. You can try to do more practice question at home, like this one. Try to do this one at home and see whether you're going to apply the rules or the laws effectively. So thank you so much for watching.